Mr. James Scarlett, we go again.
How you doing, mate? You look refreshed and like you must be excited about something. Are you
Well,
have you got anything exciting to talk about?
I was no, I was I'm excited because you showed up. I mean, you're like a sold out artist now. Know what I mean, like you you do command tickets. You sell more tickets than most of our favourite bands now. So I'm smiling because the first day of the tour, Birmingham, had sold out a few hours before we done this. So I didn't know if I was going to get you, and if I had to go through your own individual agent or what the situation was going to be. So thanks for coming on, James.
Mate, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Success has not yet gone to our heads, I don't think. But it's been a nice, fun few days, hasn't it? Of like finding out whether or not people want to go and see a live podcast tour, and it turns out they do.
Yeah, I mean, and you need to. It's easy to quickly get caught up in the snowball effect of it. Obviously, tickets went on sale, and then immediately it was like all 7 dates were 50% sold out within an hour or so, and then you can start to you can lose track of yourself and be a bit like, oh my god, keeps going at this rate. You could have these all sold out within the sort of weekend, and it starts to get a wee bit fanciful. But then you need to go back to the where were you 48 hours ago, Gavin? You were like, will anyone buy a ticket? Will anyone buy a ticket? Now the promoters, Hayden, were a bit more confident about the whole situation than I was, but I was like, listen, we do okay numbers in this podcast, but who's really who leaving their house in a Thursday through Sunday to go to a live venue and sit down and watch us? It's one thing getting that crowd out of tangent or trees where the money's been paid and you really just need to go and sit in a tent, but to leave your house to come and listen to us two, it seemed a bit far fetched, and then lo and behold. They all sold well, and as I say, Birmingham sold out. It sounds like Manchester, Glasgow, and Bristol are about to follow suit. So, thank you. That's all I've got to say about that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty mad feeling. It's well, the first person I messaged was my mum. I was like, "Look, mum, look what we did." It's like it's quite exciting. I think obviously these aren't. It's not. We're not headlining arenas yet, but it's it's like we had no idea when you put on sale Bush Hall in London, and there's like I don't know what is it, 280 capacity or 250 capacity. We had no idea whether it's going to be us and 30 people or what. And then within an hour, it's like more than, as you said, it's more than 50% sold, and you're like, oh yeah, this is
Yeah.
going to be this is going to be worth it. And I think by the end of the first day, I was like sending you a message saying five out of the seven shows will definitely be sold out come March. And now I'm feeling like probably all seven will be sold out come March, and most of them will be sold out in the next very short amount of time. So it's like, fuck, yes,
I know.
it
I mean, yes.
works.
I mean, actually, I've got a grin on my face, but it's a nervous grin, right? Because for a few reasons, I was distracted by Damnation, obviously, and you and Hayden. Although I was copied in and everything, I wasn't going in on emails the way I would have if Damnation hadn't been like coming up for us to be. And also the timing of that tour going on sale could not have been worse. That's never happening again because I was like, I had literally just been pile drived by Damnation, came back up the road, got Damnation back in sale, and it was like next day, get ready for the tour to go sale. I was like, that's my wife, I'm fucking, I feel like I've not slept in a month. So that's the first issue. Then I looked at the venues. Fucking Skindred played last night in the venue. And I'm talking the same room. Skindred
Yeah.
played. And I'm like, putting seating in there and reducing the capacity or not, why are we in rooms where Skindred are playing? And then because I actually know, because I follow the London Bush Hall account now, they've got the Ting Tings playing. It's like, why are we in these rooms? Why are we in these rooms with these fucking, like, pretty huge bands, but with some seats in there or not? And I looked at a picture of the Gloucester Civic Hall. It looks like the kind of place you take your school exams. It was fucking massive. And I just had in my head all these places being at, I don't know, like Audio in Glasgow. Just nice wee clubs, not like you go in there and you could drive a HGV in. So that was a wee bit. That was a wee bit nerve wracking. That beforehand, if I'd known, because when we first had this chat, and we had Hayden on the call. Like, my concern is not being embarrassed. I'm willing to get my comfort zone and go and try these. And if they fail, but please make them in cafes and pubs. So if 30 people show up, 30 people will pretty much fill the place, and you're like, aye, Gav, that's fine, right, okay, off we go. And then next thing in the one playing fucking Village Wembley.
It's a look. It's going to be fucking great. I think that the weird thing is you're always like you in sort of like festival job that we do. You're always competing against yourself, as in you do something good and then you've got to do it better next time. And I'm already starting to feel like that with this tour. It's like, now the sales have gone well. Now we've got to fucking get in the room and actually do the business, right? Haven't we? Whatever
Yeah.
that actually means. Just me
Yeah.
and you chatting to each other, I think. But we've got to make it a fucking thing that people are going to want to come to again. And
That
so it's
was,
like the next level of pressure. The moment I saw London sales on that first day, I was like, oh fuck.
well,
This is
this is it.
London. It's like the city that never sleeps. It's like this. There is entertainment in London to spare at all times, and
You see,
we're now going to be there with 250 people, and we got fucking
entertain them.
yeah for two and a
Entertain.
half
Cause
for 2 hours.
there's the other thing. The promoter said to me this, trying to be, oh, pat me in the back. He goes, oh, Gav, you guys sell more tickets than Celeste and Hangman's Chair and Duel and Mismore and Inter Armour. And he was like, because that's the sales that he's had over the last couple of weeks. And I'm like, instead of feeling like a compliment, it just felt like I had a horrible pain in my stomach. I was like, that's not good to hear. That's not
No,
good to hear because if I buy a ticket to those shows and I go and see Inter Armour, I know that I'm going to be entertained. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing?
yeah. Well, we're not going to be as good as Duel, but it's going to be fucking great. So,
Oh,
but so this is a music industry podcast, right, where we talk about promoting, and something's happened this week where I have peeked a f- behind a bit of the curtain I'd never seen behind before, and that is ticket counts. So for those, and I'm assuming you haven't really. Well, the thing is, you've done all the promoting that I've done, the show promoting has been with Miles, and he deals with this sort of stuff. But basically, for those people that have no idea what I'm talking about, basically, a ticket count is literally what it says. It is the promoter reporting to the booking agent that London has sold 112 tickets, and then it might be an hour later or a week later or whenever there will be another ticket count update. So the booking agent always knows how well the sales are going, and then the booking agent tells the band or us in this case. And it's occurred to me this week that that is the fucking most mad process in the world. As someone needs to stop the music industry like eating itself, because however many shows there are in the world at any given week, how many person hours are taken up with people fucking telling someone else how many tickets a gig has sold? Because I spent hours. I mean, me and you broke the sort of artist promoter rule, didn't we? Because we're friends with a couple of the promoters. So I was messaging Jim at the Guildhall and Owain in London and Miles in Bristol and Ian in Birmingham. You were ringing Ian and I'm WhatsApping him. And
at the
being
same
like, how
time.
many tickets have we sold? How many tell us the fucking ticket counts. But and obviously that's not how it's supposed to go. It's supposed to go to the booking agent. But even so, what a fucking mad load of admin that goes on across, you know, hundreds of thousands of shows a year in the world.
And you think about it when you're going on sale, and you imagine like, so this isn't two promoters, one pod, but it's Harriet or Pupil Slicer or Svalbard, and you're just released your new album and everything's going well, the press is going well, and then you put on your UK tour, your European tour, whatever. You honestly thinking that first day you're not desperate to know how the sales going. Everything that you've put into it, especially as artists, I mean, their life's work into these albums, finally going on tour, seeing if anyone cares enough to come and see them live. And then what? You get told by the promoter, "Oh, we'll check Monday and Friday," and you're in Tuesday, and you've got no idea whether you sold 10 tickets or you're almost sold out. I mean, that was, I mean, I'm sure Hayden would have realised before he took us on that was never going to be an option with us. I mean, I said to Hayden in the day of, like, will we get ticket counts tonight? And he goes, well, we'll see. I'll definitely ask. And I think that's just not going to be good enough. We'll just start phoning the promoters ourselves. And we did. And to be fair, a lot of the promoters did get back via Hayden and his team. Now he's sitting there like, I've got this to do for a billion bands, and then I've got assistants to help with this. I can't just stop everything we're doing because the two promoters, one pod, tours went on sale. But in our world, like that's the only thing that's on sale right now. Because we want to know if if people are going to come or not. So it was a fun day. I mean, it was fun because the tickets sold so well. If that had been like a three for Birmingham, two in Glasgow, and one person picked one up in London, I mean, immediately I'd have been like, James, it's time to pull out now, mate, because this is going to be a fucking disaster.
Yeah, it was pretty fun, wasn't it? But do you not agree with me though that does seem like, I mean, maybe you've seen this before, but it's if you think like every Oasis show and every Wild Art show and the Mars Volta and everyone and every from small up to big, there's just people sending emails going, this show has sold 54 tickets.
And it's annoying because you get the when I've done it. So I've been a local promoter. I've been the Miles and James of Bristol before for plenty of shows. And I hated that. I hated getting chased for your tickets out of me about like, oh fuck, I'll get to it. Like almost like, what difference does it make? You knew it was 54, it's 58, like 4 days later, whatever. Now I'm a bit like, if that ever happens again, if I'm promoting locally, I'll be like, no, I'll tell you instantly because I know how it feels to be the artist at the other side waiting to see if anyone gives a shit. So it was an experience. It's all fresh to us, and we're coming in from a different way. I think I said that when I put it up in the group as well. It was like this is bizarre for James and I. We're putting out these shows and we're not promoting them. We've 20 years of being the promoter to now you're at the other side and people are doing that job for you, and it's just a weird spot. But so far so good. Thank you to everyone who has put us on. And thank you to everyone who's bought tickets already. And there's no bullshit about it. If you do want to get to likes of Manchester, Glasgow, Bristol especially, and then the rest of them are still all pretty well sold. Get your tickets. Ideally, when you hear this and come along, let's have a right good night. We've started putting some ideas into play. We're going to bounce ideas a bit for the next few months, and we're going to have a fun show. And even if the show's shit, let's have a good drink afterwards and have a laugh.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be fun. It's going to be an early finish on the show so that we can all go to the bar afterwards or anyone who wants to. I think it'll be good. One question for you, Gav. Has anyone ever asked you for a ticket count at Damnation?
Yes, yes, I'll get it, but especially if you get a lot of bands or the bigger bands and agents don't really even think it. They'll just think that Damnation's the Manchester date on. So
Yeah.
you just get the admin who's just asking.
Do you give them ticket counts?
No,
Because I've only ever been asked once, and it was by Meshuggah the first time they played Arctangent. And Jim, their agent, he's like, can you send me a ticket update? And I was like, yeah, ticket sales are great. And he's like, no, I want a ticket update. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, I want to know how many tickets you sold. I was like, well, you want to know the actual number? It's like I've been doing trees for like, 15 years at this point or something, and ATG for 7 or whatever. And no one's ever asked me. And I was really thrown. And I was like, fucking hell, really? It feels like a very, it's like a, it's not a gig, is it? It's not Meshuggah's gig.
no,
It's,
no.
it's,
Yeah,
it's,
well,
it's
suppose it's a sensitive business question where you're saying, right,
yeah, it
okay,
really is.
especially if
Yeah.
he's asking for weekend tickets because there's 2 days that they've got nothing to do with my sugar,
Yeah.
either. I mean, I will, if I've been talking with agents, I'm pretty transparent. Fuck, we tell the bands how many tickets were sold, so I'm pretty, if they say, right, but it'll be like, over 4,000, under 5,000. It won't be 4,422. Like, and I'll give you an update on Friday if we do another 20, because that's just for 30 odd bands. Next year, 50 odd bands. I'm not sitting replying Monday, Friday, making sure that everyone knows. Yeah, like, here's a ticket tracker. We're about halfway there, and your band's played some part in it. So, it's you really were throwing. So, when you do the local shows, then Miles is just on top of it and can get that. If you want to know how well, I don't know, Leonardo sold, Miles will just tell you.
Yeah. So we talk. I don't have access to any systems and none of the ticket counts come to me. Um, we talk regularly about how sales are going and stuff. But yeah, I'm yeah, no, never in that process. So it's weird. It was weird. But yeah, it's been good. And I think we're both super psyched about the tour now. So let's go for it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I hope everyone else is super psyched about it too, because we just spent the first 15 minutes fucking talking about it. So go buy your
Yeah,
ticket, get that sold out, and you'll know that listeners go on about it again. How was your week being, James?
pretty good, pretty good. Better than Ian Shaw, our Birmingham promoters week.
Oh,
Because he had he had Celeste in. and it's caught quite a buzz around the internet. I'm sure there's plenty of people that listen to the podcast that won't have heard about this, and I think it's fucking hilarious. Although Ian doesn't, so I did get his permission to talk about this, but I'm just going to read something from ITV.com. I mean, it got picked up by quite a lot of news outlets. This did. So this is a Celeste gig. Celeste played at Damnation, and following Damnation, they played a gig in Birmingham, and a group of friends attending a gig, expecting to see a Mercury Prize shortlisted British singer, were subjected to a very different experience when they discovered they were instead seeing a death metal band of the same name. The group of women from Liverpool had thought they were attending a concert by soul singer Celeste, but instead travelled 100 miles to Birmingham to see rock band Celeste. And calling them rock band is not quite. I mean, they are brutal. And
They went for, and I had this issue as well with doing journalism. Sometimes you would have a story that involved a band that I would know was grindcore or sludge, but those descriptions don't mean anything to Joe Public. So everything just falls under the bracket of death metal, whether you're thrash, black, whatever, everything just becomes death metal. But he went very quickly in that report for death metal to rock. It was like, well, there's a quite a fucking space and genre differences between these two as well. But firstly, I heard about it. No, this is how out the loop I was, not it? I thought the joke was Celeste, like Daphne and Celeste. So, like, whoever Celeste was in that duo was out doing her own pop run, like nostalgic pop run. But no, it turns out there is actually another Celeste, this British soul singer who is pretty hot at the minute.
yeah,
Up for some Mercury Prize. So these five women from Liverpool just showed up and said, "Fuck it, we're hanging about and doing it."
and I haven't spoken to Ian. It wasn't just five people that turned up. There was about 16, I think, that bought tickets to the rock gig and turned up. And some of them stayed for most of the set. I mean, Celeste. I mean, it's fucking heavy, isn't it? And also, I don't know if they had their visuals, but their
Oh fuck!
visuals
I hope
are
not. I fucking hope
yeah,
not. Jesus, that'd have been a sinister turn as well. So I know I don't. I think the visuals are very much where it's able to be done. Somewhere like Damnation, where they're going to have a fucking cinema screen behind them. So that was incredible. When I did speak to, because I was speaking to Ian today, because obviously it's his show that sold out. And he goes, "Oh, James has asked for permission." He says, "How respectful, James. I would never ask for permission to tell that story." He goes, "I don't want this to be what I'm remembered for in promoting." I said, "Don't you worry, son. You'll be remembered for the two promoters, one pod show."
he's got some good stories, Ian. We definitely should get him on at some point. But yeah, that just really tickled me. That did. I thought that was funny. I don't know if you want to talk about this. I probably should have checked with you before, but there was some like controversy on the Damnation Facebook. I think it might have been deleted. I couldn't find it, but it was basically a post suggesting that Damnation had sort of changed direction at some point.
Ah.
And when I saw it, I was like, I'm just going to wait here. I'm going to wait for Gav because he's coming and he's going to see that and
Hashtag following.
yeah.
I don't, James. It's the podcast fault. It is the podcast fault. I mean, like, as I said in my reply, I mean, I wasn't offended by it at all. In fact, man, Art Tangent were my favourite festivals in the world, and I love the lineup, so it's not like a big insult. But it's all perception, and ultimately, perception over sort of trumps reality every time. Damnation had power metal bands, Conquest of Steel and Mercury Rain in 2005. We had Skindred play 2006. By 2008 and 9, it was This Will Destroy You, Shells, Mountains Became Machines. If you know your history with Damnation, you already knew that was that's a podcast perception thing. It's you and I talking. It's overlaps with our bands. Some people look at it and go like, "Oh, Arc Tangent's pinching all Damnation's bands." He obviously looked at it and said, "Oh, it's going to be a bit more left field and become a bit more like Arc Tangent." It's not the case. In fact, I found this year one of the most metal years we ever had. Usually, our third stage would have quite a chunk of post rock in it, be it. We Lost the Sea, or maybe She Will in recent years, just in Beck alone. And this year we had a Burial at Sea came in late for the Friday night, and that was it. I mean, I saw somebody stretching about Pine being post rock. I mean, that's really at the edge of post rock. A lot of that stuff is more post metal or becoming a bit more its own fucking proggy influence stuff. So I when I looked at this year's Damnation, I thought it was a pretty metal lineup. And last year as well, you're like your Amun Raz, Anil Nathrax and Electric Wizards are like cornerstones of Damnation lineups for the last 15 years. So, aye, it didn't offend me. I didn't agree. I felt like a lot of responses were a bit like, I don't think so. I don't get what you mean. Like, there's no, that's the way Damnation's been for 15 years now, but it's. See, as long as you're happy with it. I mean, I've had people come on and say Damnation used to be a Doom festival because the year that they saw it attended was Electric Wizard, My Dying Bride, the top two bands. I've seen people come on, Damnation used to be an old school death metal, so because we had Cancer and Entombed and Napalm Death in like 2018. So everyone's got their own weird perception of what Damnation is. And I mean, it can't all be right or wrong. So I'm happy enough as long as people are interested in Damnation. But aye, what was your thoughts on it? Like, you've
Well,
seen.
I mean, look, I mean, I I've openly admitted that the first time I saw Armin Ra was at Damnation. The first time I saw Bosk was at Damnation. I've got a feeling the first time I saw no, probably not Kotliner. But it's at the end of the day, I like to go to other festivals and discover bands and then book them for my own festivals. I'm like you like researching bands. So like I want to book Swarm with the Sun from because I thought they were fucking amazing at Damnation. Um, and hopefully you saw some bands at Arctangent this year that you booked for Damnation. I mean, I wonder, you were saying a minute ago you just said that Damnation will go from 30 to 50 bands. Is that forgetting? I don't want to get back into the what's Night of Salvation thing. Is there going to be more? But let's call Night of Salvation Damnation. Are
Right.
you saying there is more bands next year?
Yeah, yeah, because even if, let's say, for the point of argument, then that Night of Salvation was day one, Night of Salvation starts at 3 in the afternoon, you know what I mean? So you get 15 bands there instead of, what is it, 24, 28, I think it's 24. So you're definitely getting 50. You're going, I think it is 24, up to 50 you'll get, rather than it being whatever that would have been with the 15 on top. So, there's more bands. It'll be 2 full days. Both days will start at the same time,
Yeah,
finish at the same time, will be treated like the same event. So, there is more bands to fit in over the 2 days than you would have got with a Night of Salvation and Damnation, even if
yeah.
that's the way you viewed it.
And my point being that with that being the case, it will be much easier to not have like a Doom year the smaller number of bands you've got, it's harder to spread the genres sometimes. You get a couple of big ones in a certain genre and you're a bit snookered. But
Yeah,
I mean it was extremely varied this year, wasn't it? Like I mean all sorts of stuff really
yeah,
across the whole lineup.
yeah. And that's it.
Yeah,
And I don't even think to be fair to the original poster, I don't think he was trying to. It was worded weirdly, like no trying to be controversial, like it was going to be some slap in the face or whatever. But it is what it is. I put it down to the podcast. Ultimately, I think that people are viewing a lot of the Arc Tangent and Damnation World in that same space now. We're talking about a lot of the same bands, or recommending a lot of overlapping bands. We book a lot of overlapping bands. Aye, but ultimately, if you were to sit down with two festivals, you're just never booking Obituary, Carcass, Napalm Death, and I'm never booking that no fuck buttons and whatever. When you get weirder than weird and we get more extreme than extreme, it's a bit like where we meets that overlap bit in the middle, that post rock, post
yeah,
metal, and sludgy world.
yeah, absolutely. I mean I 100% wouldn't book Carcass, but I don't know, Napalm Death, maybe.
Oh,
But
there you go. Just cracked an exclusive at James by accident.
no, no, not at all. Okay, one last thing I wanted to talk about was I just wanted to ask if this ever happens to you because this really fucked me off this week. So after having a couple of weeks off from booking, I decided to chase all my offers. And there's some offers that have been out in the ether for months, literally months now, and I'm getting to the point now where it either needs to happen or I'm going to move on and book someone else. And on the day I sent those emails out, which basically just says, "Hey, so and so, I really need to get an answer on this offer. Can you tell me what's going on?" 4 agents came back immediately and said, "It's not happening." And I was fucking livid because what that actually means is they knew it wasn't happening
Yeah,
and they haven't told me.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
And when it's just one person, it's kind of okay, but 4 bands, and you're like taking up like thousands of pounds worth of budget, taking up a slot on the lineup. Maybe I've pushed other bands away in the how long have those offers been dead for?
yeah,
It's a really frustrating part of the festival booking process. It actually happens with promoting as well, where you think things are still in the works, but the agent's fucking moved on.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate that agents have a very busy time and they've got a lot of promoters. But when I've offered three, no, there was in this, I mean, fucking hell, some of these booking agents are probably listening, but there was a 5 grand offer and there was a 3 grand offer out there. That is like it's
A
like a,
chunk of change.
but yeah, it's a chunk of change and it's high up on one of my mid stages. You know, it's a decent slot at Arctangent. And then what were you just not going to tell me? It's like, what
Yeah,
the
I'm
fuck?
I'm actually stunned we've got this far into it. And we've never broached that before because it feels like it's a massive bugbear. I mean, agents have got no there's no upside to agents telling you if they either know they've got a bit of power to hold that slot and try and slide someone else in. They doesn't make any difference to them whether you know or don't know. It's just a case of well, we'll tell you when you tell you. It's odd because if you try to do that back to an agent, they will fucking lose their mind. So if you try that with an agent and something's been sitting, nothing's been happening for months and months at their end, you've been waiting for this, but nothing, and then you've moved on, you haven't told the agent, and then they come back and say this band's ready to go, and I'm talking about small bands. I'm not talking about your headliner.
Yeah,
And you say, "Oh, that's moved on." They talk to you like you're a school kid, like you're in first date primary one. How
yeah,
dare you do this? I've had this with this band. I've went through the trenches to get you this booking. Do you know what I had to do? I had to visit the mum's house and deliver biscuits to her in Brazil. And fucking, you've done this to me. Yes, I'm going to get sacked. They're like they lose their mind, and then
yeah,
they do it to you. And also, we have talked about this before. The way, like you explain why something can't happen to a booking agent, and you also have to be, oh well, it's. I'm really sorry, sir. My car broke down, and I just don't have any more money. Well, they'll just tell you in a booking you've been working on in 6 months. It's not happening. Like maybe they don't even put a full stop in, just not happening. And you're
yeah,
like not even worth that. Oh, by the way, the singer's going to get married, or it's going to clash. Have been offered. Some agents just like the shit off your shoe. It's like it's just not happening. So why even fucking bothering me? Can I? You're like because we've discussed this for 6 months. Because we've got to the point of how many hotel rooms can we get, and are they going to be twins or singles? And can you get a shuttle bus to take us? And now you're talking almost like I'm trying to get spare change off you, and we've never met before. It's aye, that's that. Aye, that happens. That happens all too often for me, and I'm surprised we haven't discussed it before because it is a shitty bit of the business, and sometimes you feel like, fuck me, man. It's like we're all trying to build something together here, and we're trying to get your bands these slots and have them play to big crowds. Like I don't know why a simple 15-second email saying, listen, no happening for this year, let's look at it again next year, which is what a good or decent uh, booking agents do. Right? Oh, bless them, but I know we've been discussing that. Just kind of make it work. And that's fine. Listen, you can go right down to the point of you're ready to pay a deposit, and then the agent gets told. Sometimes the agent's getting shafted. They're the ones that have went and got all the availability in all the cities. They're the ones done the routing. They're the ones that like they deserve the money for the time they've put in. And then the band, for whatever reason, said to them, "Well, it's not going to work. I fell out with the drummer." So it's not always a case of the agent's just shafting you. Sometimes the agent's been shafted, but that doesn't mean in turn that the promoter needs shafted too.
yeah, yeah. You can still tell us, but
Aye.
yeah. So there's a bunch of booking agents listening. So hopefully that's landed. Okay. So tell me, tell me what's going on with you. We're
Yeah.
only. I keep forgetting how close we are to damnation. Like it's only just really
Aye,
just
there's
finished.
a lot of still ramping. It's been a wee bit more of a celebratory week because obviously Damnation was a success this year, and that's not something that I'm taking lightly. But then we've got like the That's Not Metal pod came out, and those guys were waxing lyrical about it all, and they dragged into Sunlight set obviously, and then the TPTV one came out, and I was a wee bit apprehensive for that because I saw the Outbreak one, and they're pleasant. They're a pleasant team. The whole TPTV folk, and they're not really going to shit in a festival unless it's shit. They really just didn't have a good time. It's going to take a lot for them to be negative, but at the same time, it's an industrial estate in Manchester. The guys are at Coachella and Glastonbury and Burning Man, and we're like, how much can you say? When I watched Outbreak one, they were positive about Outbreak, but there wasn't a great deal to say. They were going to see a bunch of bands that they didn't know, said it was a good vibe, got some trainers, and then went to Subway. And I thought, well, that's probably what Damnation is going to get to because it's the exact same situation I'm walking into. But it seemed to really invest in it. I don't. Have you watched it yet?
No, I haven't. I haven't.
I
I
don't-
didn't actually realize they were there until afterwards, which is a shame. Because you remember we talked about them on the pod before?
Yeah,
Because I had to break up that like
straight up the stage.
yeah, yeah,
But they seem they get in. Like, admittedly, they came in. We do not know a single band on this bill. We don't know anyone, not even Cradle of Filth. And they came in and they watched Nails and the guy Rob, the main guy, I think it is. He's watching Dragged into Sunlight, like transfixed. I mean, the guy's favourite band is 1975, and he's watching Dragged Into Sunlight. What's happening in is my soul being repossessed here? It's like I'm absolutely bludgeoned by strobe lights and fucking and fire. And they just did such a good. And the biggest positive of it all was just how well they received the community, or the community received them. It was all very pleasant, and it was a great video. And props to them for coming out and doing something like that, because as I say, they deal in the major festivals. I mean, the Coachellas and the Glastonbury are what they are regular at. Leeds and Red and Download. It's like this is small potatoes to them, and it was a shame too, because I saw the reaction. The metal fans, they're the nicest folk in the world, but they're also fucking petty. You know what I mean? You get that wet white Karen syndrome. It's like obviously they have to put some sort of tagline in it. What are they going to say? Damnation, the 14th most extreme festival in the UK. Maybe no, like they need to put something. It's already
Yeah.
a subject where people don't know. So their taglines are often like that. The most extreme thing ever. So they put us as like the most extreme festival in Europe, and the first thing you get people getting into. Oh, I'll have you know this isn't actually. There's a grind festival that happens in Brighton, and that's so much more extreme. Like fucking geese peace. I mean, these guys are these guys have came heaped. They give you your time for a channel that does a million, half a million, quarter million views per video. They've came heaped praising the event, heaped praise on you people as fans, as us as organisers, and then what we're going to do is dig them up because they've got a wee catchy, sensationalised fucking tagline. It's like it's sometimes like aye, it gets a wee bit too much. But I'm well chuffed for that. I want to say I was still in a bit of daze when we done the last podcast, and I wanted to say that this people brought gifts to Damnation, booze for me. One guy showed up now like a fancy bottle of brandy and a fancy bottle of gin, and then one of the guys from Amplifest Portugal brought a nice bottle of red wine. And thank you so much for doing that. And if that's a trend that's going to start, then I'm all in. I mean, by all means,
Absolutely.
bring booze as gifts, and you can do that to the tour as well. I am a red wine man, and I'm a Jack Daniels man. So by all means, if that's a trend that's going to start, then I'm up for it. And thank you to those who did bring along gifts to Damnation. Damnation itself in this last week is like 1,600 tickets gone blind. We've done that pretty much in the first couple of days, and then another weird thing about promoting, a bit like the two promoters one pod, that first day's spike is unreal. Then a couple of days after you get it, and then it goes down to like you do 1,300 in a day, and then 3 days later you do 13. Yeah, how's that even possible?
Yeah.
But that's just the way it goes. So we'll set ourselves up for a really good start to 2025. We're deep in the booking process at the minute. I mean, I've said online if we can hit that 2,000 mark, we'll get some bands out there. But I suppose at some point we'll get some bands out there, one with the other, for a flavour of what's to come for 2025. So I'm in a good spot. Things are good.
Any ideas? Any ideas when? I mean, you probably don't want me to ask you that.
No, listen, always ask. It's you know what? It's like they're there. We were thrown. I discussed this in a previous podcast. We had this announced pretty much what we've got up our sleeve, what we're going to go with, and then we were supposed to get this huge band, and we're like, oh well, if we can go straight out the traps with a couple of headliners, then that would be more beneficial. And then at the last minute, lost the headliner, and we kind of still got what we've got there. So, aye. It's unfortunate we never went with Plan A, because that would have got those bands at Damnation up on the screens. But aye, I would like I've definitely by the end of the month. There you go. There's my decision made on the podcast. Definitely by the
Great.
end. But Brian, you're
Good.
hearing that now, mate. Let's start getting that post up in the
The arguments begin. Lovely.
So this podcast is going to be about download. The announcement is going to be coming out while we're doing this, so we're going to react to the live when it drops, probably in half an hour's time or so. So we're going to do download. We're going to talk about Outbreak going up against download. So that's what we'll get into. But first, I believe you have a new, very generous sponsor to tell us about.
Yeah, well, look, we like good news stories around here, don't we? And we also like behind the scenes sort of festival-y stories. So I kind of wanted to give a little bit of a preamble to this. And so basically, about over 10 years ago, there's a guy called Ollie and his dad Neil. Like they started working on the production side of 2000 Trees, and then Arctangent. They've been at Arctangent for every single one, like for 10 years. They put up the fencing. They install the water. They fix everything that breaks. Basically, I've talked about them before on the podcast. They are fucking like they have like proper legendary status. They're now like close friends of mine. I didn't know them before I started 2000 Trees. We hang out, we're friends. It's pretty cool. And then a couple of years ago, well, 3 or 4 years ago, they brought with them a guy called Tom, who is married to Ollie's sister and married to Neil's daughter, basically. So he's family, and he's like slowly become like part of the Arctangent and 2000 Trees setup crew. Now, Tom has, as we'll get onto, Tom has a proper job and doesn't need to be in muddy fields, but he, as I guess is his holiday, he chooses by way of relaxation to come and like lay water pipe with his father-in-law Neil and put up fencing with his brother-in-law Ollie. And he's a lovely chap that we really like having around. He's got the number one best coffee machine on site. So every morning I get up out of my caravan and his caravan's about 20 meters away. And I kind of wander over and like lean on his door and
Tap his door for a
uh,
coffee.
yeah, and he hands me a coffee. So the weird thing about summer festival setup and breakdown crew is it's very intense. So like, it may be that Tom or Ollie or Neil were the last people I saw that night and said good night. You go into the caravan on your own, shut the door, and like 7 hours later, you come out and they're the first people you see again. It's you get to know each other really well. Anyway, so Tom's around a lot, and when we were doing our live podcast thing at 2000 Trees, I'm not sure if you remember this or not, Gav, but Tom, Ollie, and Neil were backstage at the Word stage at 2000 Trees, and before we went on and after we came off, and me and Tom, I thought we were joking with each other about him being our new sponsor, his
Yeah,
company.
yeah.
Well, I'll come on to his company. We're kind of just chatting about. He's like, do you need sponsor? And I'm like, yeah, we need sponsors. 100% we do. It's like, you know, and he's like, it could be me. And I feel like I think I thought we were joking, and I kind of mentioned it to you, and I wasn't sure about it. And anyway, roll forward
Here
a
we
few
are.
months, and here we are. And it turns out it wasn't a joke. And so the company is called Synetec. So that's spelled Synertec. And they've given me a little blurb to read out to kind of explain what they do. So if you're a business listening to this is for you. It's not really, it's not a consumer thing. This is a business thing. So Synetec helps companies manage documents better. Their software makes things run smoother, automates messages, and improves handling of financial papers. Whether it's sending text messages, emails, or physical letters, Synetec can provide a secure, audited method to this while advising you on the most effective ways of communicating as a business. Why should you work with Synetec? Simplicity. They will save you time and money, taking the complicated tasks away from you and giving you that valuable time to focus on other priorities. Rest assured, your communications are in safe hands with them. So basically, if you run a business, if you're sat here and you're listening to us and you work for Marshall or one of the breweries we work with, or the big booking agents that we work with, then please go and check them out. I mean, if you need me to do an intro, I'd be very happy to. And I guess the other thing I just want to say to Tom and Cinetech in general is that this does make a massive difference to me and Gav. It's part of the reason we're able to go and do this tour and to keep the time and effort that goes into to doing this podcast. I spent probably half the day today prepping for this evening and just getting everything ready. And then we'll spend an hour and a half here recording it. And this sort of support is really big to us. And I like honestly, hand on heart, I'm really thankful. And yeah, so thanks, Tom, really.
Yeah, exactly. I do remember meeting Tom. I met him again at Tangent. He's a lovely big guy. I mean, it's a lot to think that someone who, let's be fair, we need them a lot more than Nini does, and it's one of these ones where someone listens in and they go, "How can we help? How can we help that podcast?" And this is what I've done. It's amazing that it's coming because that's quite a commercial. I mean, thank God you read it and I never read it, so people know what it actually does. it's it's a commercial sponsor, and they've decided to come on board with somebody like us. My understanding is they're only looking for the one ad read as well, so it's not James coming on each pod and reading it out each time either. So aye, you'll see the logo about, you'll see the link about. They are clearly a great company who want to support small startups like us. It's all got a bit more serious. Let's be fair. This podcast it's just got all a bit more serious. We do have wives and kids, and we do need to say, like, we're leaving the house to go and do these things. And bringing back some money at the other side of it is definitely a valid reason for going and working if you want to describe this as work, which I don't, but you need to be realistic with some of it. So thank you, Tom. Thanks to the team, and it's a massive help.
Yeah, lovely. Thanks, Tom and Cinetech. Okay, Gav, let's
Will
go with some
we
questions.
Well, before we get any questions, I think we're about will we do the download thing? I think we're about
Okay,
time now. If we check our
let's
phones, we could probably
let's do
see
it.
what's here. Metallica, Tool, Deftones. Let's see. This makes for
So,
terrible
but
listening.
no, so we discussed whether or not we should find out the lineup in advance, or whether it would be more fun for us to like freestyle it. So we are freestyling it. So literally, Download has announced, and we are now going to have a look. So the only thing I already knew about this lineup was the headliners, because it's been an open secret around the sort of rock music industry. So headliners are Green Day, Sleep Token, and Korn. Now, I mean,
Let's
frankly, that,
let
that
let's
I think
start
that,
let's start there. Right, so that is so. I've said this before. I was told these headliners, but I can tell you the amount of times I've been told headliners for download that never turn out to be true. So this is the one bit of the announcement as I'd just look at it and catch some of the surprises in front of me that I was maybe a little bit more prepared for, and I am all in that. And the main reason for that is because that is three first-time headliners for download. If I'm right in thinking, obviously Connor played a billion times in that sub-headline slot, but I'm now finally being given the props, finally be given the flowers, allowed to go and do what Slipknot did back in 2005 or 2006 and take that slot. So Korn, Sleep Talking and Green Day, three debuts. So it just makes it more exciting right off the bat. What's your feeling in the headliners?
yeah, I'm kind of into it. It's not got me in like the Metallica sense of I'm going to know every word to every song. But
Right, okay, but
I don't
James,
think I've
right,
actually ever
but
gone.
as a massive Metallica fan in the podcast. Metallica's on that there, right? Let's say instead of Sleep Token, are you more excited because it's just Metallica again, or are you into the idea like let's see something different?
No, sure. No, I totally agree. I'm up for something different. And I mean, I don't think I've ever seen I don't think I've ever seen Green Day live. That's the weird thing. So I'm super excited to see Green Day live. Um, Sleep Token, fucking fair play. It's just a phenomenon. And that's pretty exciting. And I saw Korn at headline the second stage at Download when there was only two stages at Download back in whenever that first album came out, a long time ago. So it's pretty cool that they're now main stage headline. I'm actually totally in for that. I will watch all three of those.
That
I'm
is,
in.
I'm in. Honestly, as it goes, it's not easy. I'd like to see my dream three. I suppose would be Pearl Jam, Green Day, and who else has just never done it? I mean, Nine Inch Nails probably too small for them, but Nine Inch Nails could probably get away with another two. That would be if I was saying like that's you picking bands never done it before. So this is good. And it also like just fair play to fucking Sleep Token. It's just good to see a success story like that. I mean, that is
Yeah.
bonkers. What year was it they played one of your tents at our tangent?
Don't know. I'm not a stato for that sort of thing like
Uh,
you. Unfortunately, it's annoying. I don't
not
know, but it's not that long ago.
Not that long ago to be the headline at Download. I mean, how many other bands of that ilk? I mean, Bring Me the Horizon. Because am I right in thinking that Ghost have never even headlined uh, Download? So I
No.
mean, you're only really talking about modern bands that have just went and broken through and done it. And I mean, when you say modern, fucking Bring Me the Horizon have been about for 20 years. I mean, they almost played the first Damnation. So Sleep Token have just they're just a success story in their own right.
Yeah, I mean, no one does it that quick, do they? No one smashes it out the park that
I mean,
quickly. So
I'm a bit gutted getting into the second because what they've done is so the appears have done a couple of here's your bands with logos, and then here's a section of your first A to Z, and then here's a final section of your A to Zs for the smaller bands, which I've not even getting because the small print's too small. But we see Weezer, but no Deftones, which is a wee bit of a kick in the chucks because I mean I wonder if Deftones now selling at Crystal Palace Stadium are a bit like next year's headliners. These bands are now going to follow the that route that Colin have just taken. Go and do one of your sell 25,000 tickets somewhere and prove to Live Nation that you can do download headline slot yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I someone messaged me this week after Deftones sold out that show saying you need to get them for Treason next year, and I was like, that ship has sailed, mate. They'll be
Shit.
headlining. They'll be headlining download like that. They are on the smaller end of a download headliner now, I would say. Um, so I mean, could Queens of Stone Age sell out 30,000 tickets in London
I don't
in an
think so.
outdoor show? Probably not. So
I'm not sure if the Queens in the Stone Age, if that experiment worked when it's all said and done. I mean, and
oh,
you as a big fan, but like you probably just didn't feel it struck enough.
mate,
The
it was
second,
no.
this second section, I'm not as thrilled about. Weezer, Bullet for My Valentine, Jimmy Eat World, Don Broco, Spirit Box. Fuck man, it feels like they're really eating into the 2000s. Thank God you got your headliner sorted, mate, because it sounds like they really ate into your world here. The Sex Pistols with Frank Carter, Within Temptation, The Darkness, Steel Panther. I mean, you're starting to get into some I mean, I could not think of anything worse than watching like a Steel Panther, McFly, Apocalyptica, Cradle of Filth, Lorna Shore, and Sikth. I mean, that is some billing for Sikth.
I thought that I was. It's the first thing I saw. I was like, "Fucking yes, mate." They've had a good old argument there. Well done.
Who's very good friends with Cam and Sick, mate? How did they get into that section? Above Airborne?
Yeah, I mean,
Brilliant.
fair play. I mean, the the only thing really exciting me on that second tier of bands is the Sex Pistols, and I know it's not the Sex Pistols, but that Frank Carter fronted Sex Pistols got such rave reviews. Everyone I know that went loved it. I did actually talk to them about playing Trees this year. They were one of the bands that were kind of, when I said I had too many bands knocking
Yeah,
about,
yeah.
they were one of those. And I never really got very far with the conversation because I suspected they'd, I mean, if I was booking download, I'd have fucking been all over booking. It's 100% brilliant booking for download. I would hope that that's probably high up second stage at download. That'd be great. Yeah, the rest of that, I mean, yeah, it's pretty 2000 Trees with Jimmy Eat World, Don Broco. Um,
I mean, I assume you'd love Spirit Box. Are they one of the bands that are starting to get out of reach as well?
yeah, I mean, I think Spirit Box is definitely still in reach, but yeah, it's in fact, there's three previous 2000 Trees headliners on there. There's a Damnation headliner. Um, yeah, it's interesting.
The,
Um, but
I mean, here's the all right. So these bands, like your Cradle of Filth, Lorna Shore, Sixth, they must be headlining the fourth stage to get that must be a thing. If you headline, you get the logo because there is no world that Meshuggah's is that Meshuggah there? Meshuggah in the next. The Meshuggah, I'm not saying, aye, that's fine. Sixth can go in the section above us.
yeah, we got a wild. That is wild. There's a wild bit of billing here. So you've called it. So Meshuggah are in a non-logo text form, 4 rows below the likes of Sikth and Cradle of Filth and Apocalyptica, who
Well,
surely,
Apocalypse are probably arguably still got that. If they, I mean, I don't know enough about them, but they're the guys with the cellos doing Metallica covers, aren't they?
yeah.
I mean, aye. So, mate, was this a good idea doing this? Like, to
We're now just down the pub, aren't
I'm just in the fucking pub. You're
we?
like,
Right.
Sixth. I fucking love Sixth. This is not a slight on Sixth, but Jesus Christ, that is a hell of a billing. I assume that must be because of headlining. There must be part of that's the way they want to do it. And maybe these other bands in there are either second stage headliners or some way up the main stage. The last section, forgive my eyesight, Alcest, Anno Nathrak. Now, I'm not going to act shocked because I had heard previously that Anno Nathrak are playing, but fuck me, still shocked you to see them on a download poster. Well done, guys, for that. I'm just going to read out the bands that I actually know because there's a lot. I don't know who Bex or Battlesnake. Dead Pony, who I saw at last year's threes or this year's three. Core, Graphic Nature, Happy the Hots. Loathe.
I've just realised this has now become the worst podcast ever because we're just both just desperately trying to read small text. I mean, look, here's some bands that I'm excited about. Um, I'm excited to see Jerry Cantrell. I'm excited. I didn't know Turbo Negro were back together. That'd be fucking awesome. Um, Loath, who also have got a bit of a kick in the billing wars there.
So,
Um,
but because by the time you're getting, you're just in bad luck. I mean, see, if you happen to be one hand now, and you're in that full section, mate, you are the final band you're gonna get spotted. But Svalbard and all good ones, Silosis, Orbit Culture. Aye, there's a few names down there that I do like and recognise, and then there's a bunch that I just Teen Mortgage, Unprocessed, Underside, Split Chain. There was a lot of bands I just don't know.
yeah.
So
I
I
mean,
think
it's
we,
interesting seeing it from my point of view because there's a bunch of bands on there that I've tried to book, and there's a few on there that I have booked actually that are subsequently going to be announced for ATG or Trees. Um, and there's a few on there that I tried to book and got exclusived out of um, by download. So yeah, it's interesting. Well, I mean, what's your overall vibe? Because my vibe is the headliners is brave and bold and exciting. I think even Green Day feels exciting at download, I would say.
yeah.
Um, and lower down, for my personal taste, there isn't loads. I'm fucking gonna see the Sex Pistols, and I'm gonna go to the front and throw myself around like it's fucking, well, not like it's 1979, like it's 1996 in Finsbury Park when I saw them when they were last fat and old. But um,
I
yeah,
mean, for a download lineup, like, what do I expect? I've seen plenty of download lineups maybe in the last 10 years. There's almost nothing. You're really picking amongst the carcass to find anything that you're into. Whereas, happy to watch all three of the headliners. So there's a great start. You show up that weekend, you're going to finish your night with three bands you're happy to watch. I mean, calm down the bangers to close it. I'm in. I'm absolutely in. I'm going to do blind. I no bother. Let's go. Then you've got the ones you get. I like Lorna Shore. Happy to watch Sikth. Enjoy my sugar. And on after that, one of my favourite live bands, Alcest, amazing. So you're starting to get. Then you're piecing together days, and I'm assuming. I mean, what is that? You think that's less than half of the full lineup, you'd say, yeah. So
yeah,
as long as the second half comes out and it's along those lines and you get bits and pieces, you go and watch. I mean, I'd go watch the Sex Pistols as well. I enjoyed Spirit Box when I saw them. Jimmy Eat World have got a tune. Aye. I'd watch Jerry Cantrell. You're totally right. Aye. I wonder if CKY are still in that bill following all the nonsense of this week when them get kicked off that tour.
yeah.
So
They've not had a good week, have they? I've just seen Vower on there as well, which is nice to see them getting a slot download.
wee bit of hour for you. Enjoy Svalbard. Aye. Lead from within. Aye. When you're actually the more and more looking at taking in, I'm sure there's 3 days of decent music. The big thing's going to be is what we're going to come on to next is how will that compare to the Outbreak lineup, who have decided to go up against them?
Yes, they have. Which is it's hard to say that news and give it quite the gravitas of how like mind blowing it is that that has happened. So if you were to list like the biggest sort of heavy music festivals in the UK, Download and Outbreak would be in the top sort of 5 or 6, whatever, and they're now on the same weekend, um, which is pretty wild, right?
It's bold. I mean, because look, we're two independent promoters. You don't want to be clashing with anything at all. Mate,
No,
Damnation clashes with, I don't know, a good gig in London, and we lose 50 tickets. That's 7.5 grand. That's not in Damnation. But the numbers don't need to be massive for you to lose significant amounts of money, and that money only goes up when you're doing Arctangent Trees Outbreak, but full 3 days events where the tickets might be 200 quid, 250 quid. So you don't want to be clashing with anyone. And you definitely don't want to be clashing with Download. I mean, Sonosphere didn't clash with Download and it couldn't survive the two of them in the same space. I'm not trying to, don't get that confused. I'm not trying to mix up Outbreak and Sonosphere, two completely different events. But my point is, even the big dogs couldn't compete with Download. Now, something wonderful about Outbreak is they march to their own beat and they do have a way of making it work. And I will never doubt Outbreak because I have seen where they've managed to pull out the bag with lineups that I'm kind of looking at going, I don't really know a great deal about what's happening there. fucking 7 or 8 thousand people show up. You know what I mean? So I am never doubting Outbreak, and I have no doubt they'll go and smash it again on their own terms. But there must be the availability. I think they said on their post about that this is the where the availability of the sites and bands that he wanted would happen. I doubt they went into saying let's just go after the same weekend as Download. That must have been a sort of plan Z, and that's just how it panned out.
Yeah, I found it quite hard to talk about because, well, just last weekend, I'm at at Damnation, and in Gav's balcony, I'm sat chatting to Cam from Download, and then, Ollie from Outbreak walks in like a couple of hours later, and I'm having a chat with him. And, I asked them both about this, because again, it's like been an open secret that this was happening, for a while. And, yeah, clearly I am not here. We will have Cam on again, I hope, and we want to have someone from Outbreak on. So I'm not here to basically talk about the private conversations I had with them,
No, no, of
but
course not.
I was kind of challenging them, being like, saying to Ollie,
Please don't, people.
are you scared about going up with Download and Live Nation, going up against them? That I would be scared. And are you worried about, because they've announced that they're doing Friday in London, I think, and Saturday, Sunday in Manchester.
Yeah,
So are you worried about the fact that you've got to sell a load more tickets and stuff? And I mean, it's up for them to give their answer.
yeah.
Like you said, they fall in a pile of shit and stand up smelling the roses. They seem to do it right. They
They
always
do.
seem to get it right.
They've got a fan
Um,
base. I mean, unmatched. I'd say they put on a tour date for the story of the year, a story so far, whatever the band's called, and still sold thousands of tickets. I mean, it's like they are just their fan base is fucking on it. I mean, I feel grateful that 1,500 people support Damnation Blind. I mean, I think they're close to like 6,000. They'll just turn out for Outbreak, and they're all in. That's their festival. That's their scene. They're going to support it. And Outbreak repay them with the bands that they want to see, that they need to pay major money to get here, and they put on fantastic events. It's aye, is it from a promoter's point of view? It would be terrifying. I mean, I remember was it the first time Outbreak moved to Manchester, and I was desperate to go because I wanted to see Beck Arena in all its glory with something similar to Damnation, which they don't have. It's all Sidewinder and nostalgia raves and all that stuff. They don't have something that's similar to Damnation, like an Outbreak is. And they clashed with Hellfest. Now, Hellfest has a dedicated hardcore stage, like headlined by the Walls of Jericho and Converge. And I remember saying that, like, I was not really concerned about Hellfest because it's like, it's not going to take any of their fan base, and they were fucking right. And like no one was on their socials going, "Oh, I would really be there, but I'm going to be at the hardcore stage at Hellfest." I mean, they've got such an amazing fan base that are just like, no, that's what we do, and these things aren't going to matter. And it may well be that the actual ticket sales that doesn't affect Outbreak for whatever reason. What it will affect though, and there's just no getting around this, is Download is still the big dog, and they will attract Kerrang's A team, Metal Hammer's A team, Rock Sound's A team, and you're going to get what's left, if anything at all. And maybe they don't care about that either, but there's only so much attention that even that media's got, and they're all going to be at Download, and then you're going to have, the focus that weekend, no matter how you slice it, is going to be in Download. Like this focus, the weekend of Glastonbury is always in Glastonbury, and those in Leeds and Reading are the three big festivals that really take up the amount of press and attention you can get. But again, maybe Outbreak don't give a shit. I mean, they're just like,
no,
we don't care.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I think that's a really good point you've made there about the press and just in general. You go into the backstage bar area at Download, which is not really backstage, is it? It's kind of like you're halfway backstage, but you're not really backstage. It's just like, but there is like a few thousand people there. It's busy, and everyone from the rock heavy music industry is there. All the press, all the PRs, all the labels, all the managers, all the agents, everyone. They're all there. The other festivals, they're all there. Trees, Arctangent, Damnation, Radar, Bloodstock, they were all there. So it is quite interesting. And like you said, Outbreak probably couldn't give a fuck about whether any of that's at Outbreak. I don't suppose
which I
they.
fucking love too. I love
Yeah, yeah,
that. I love it
good. Yeah,
all.
good for them. I mean, just looking back at this download lineup, it's I wonder if there's been a. I don't know how long the download lineup's been booked for and how long they've known about Outbreak. But if you look, there is actually. It feels on first glance like there aren't that many Outbreakish bands on there. And I don't mean up the top. I mean like down the bottom, because last year there was that fallout with Barclays, wasn't there? Barclay
Yes,
Card, was it?
yes.
And there was a lot of hardcore bands on Download last year, and a lot of them ended up pulling out because of that fallout. I would say just glancing at that lineup, there probably isn't a massive crossover with Outbreak, but I'm prepared for someone to go, "You're fucking wrong. You're
No,
mad."
no,
Because I'm
I
just
agree.
staring at 100 bands here.
Well, the initial ones you go and you look at, you be like, well, is there's Turnstile, Knocked Loose, had a big Hatebreed set, if they had Porsche More. I mean, are downloads really going to be that bored to try and go and get like a Let Live or one of the ones that's very bespoke uh, to an Outbreak? Now you're a bit like, now downloads are a bit like, we need to make sure. Let's say that it's all pleasantries to the face, but behind it is business, and download like we just can't allow other events to come in and use our weekend. You'd have thought that maybe they would be going for those kind of bookings, or maybe this is proper guessing territory. I don't know any of this, so maybe they're a bit like I found it late, or maybe they found it early and they're like, no, we're going to stick in our lane and ultimately try to get those hardcore bands, or deliberately try to get those hardcore. Code Orange is another one, a bigger name for that world. Um,
But
I don't know. I don't know.
also,
Honestly,
what is the other question to ask yourself is what even is Outbreak? Because ha whether or not Outbreak, like what I mean is what is Outbreak musically? Because whether
yeah,
or not they can pull off an outdoor show with hardcore bands every year, I am dubious about because I just don't know if there are enough big hardcore bands.
yeah.
So, you've named some good ones there.
But they made the change, didn't they? They tried it and they went with the hip hop. They moved to they're not good thing about when I first met the Outbreak guys. That I'm not naming them because I don't know if they like their names been out there. So I'll just give them respect for not naming them. But there's three of them and they're very forward thinking and it's not they're not due to stop at any terminal. They're going for the moon. You know what I mean? And they will trial and error stuff and learn from it and move on again and they tried to go to, or they did go to Mayfield Depot, and it didn't work out for them, and they moved back to Beck. They did try hip hop. I'm not putting words in them. I don't think it worked out for them because they quickly went back to they split into one day and then sold Outbreak separately. This will be another example. I don't know. Maybe we'll see some of the big hip hop artists back in there as well. But you're right. I mean, I don't know anything about this world clearly because they had like Soccer Mummy play. And I was like, how does that fit? And then they play, and it seems to fit. So they really they've got their fingers in the pulse, probably more than anyone, and what works in that world and what doesn't. I mean, maybe they're using their Dice Spotify list and actually sticking to the tunes, and they know that Red Hot Chili Peppers is the one.
Fucking hell.
So I good. Listen, I'm all in this success. Like Bloodstock sold out. Fucking delighted. That is a shot in the arm for the independent scene. I hope Download selling a shit ton. I hope the Outbreak sells a shit ton. I want to see more people at these events. If the two of them can survive in the same weekend, coexist, then great. I mean, I have noticed a lot of people saying, "Oh, Outbreak's been clever because then they're going to be able to pick up the bands that are playing Download that weekend." I would be stunned if that's the case. What's your feelings on that?
No chance. No fucking chance. I mean, they will not share any bands. I will be amazed if they share bands. Because look, at the end of the day, somewhere in a boardroom at Live Nation, they are going, "What the fuck is happening here?" They must be. Someone,
And they're too
some guy in
switched
a
on.
suit. I don't mean the bookers, but some guy in a suit is going to be like, "What the fuck?" So I can't see them sharing bands. I think they'll be exclusives. And I might have mentioned this before on the podcast, but years ago I went to see Andy Copping from Download do a talk to some students, and I met him afterwards. And he basically said to me, no, because a student asked him a really pointed question about 2000 Trees because they knew I was there and it was all a bit awkward. They like challenged him on exclusivities and stuff. And he basically just said to me, there's no offense meant against 2000 Trees, but um, we consider you're taking 5,000 tickets a year off us. And this is a long time ago as well. But we think you're taking 5,000 tickets a year off us, and we have to protect our thing.
Yeah.
And that so if you go right up fucking head to head, then I would expect them to try and protect their thing. But if you look at that download lineup, doesn't look like there's a lot of crossover to me. So whether or not there's crossover in audience, I don't know. But genre-wise, really, Don Broco and Bullet for My Valentine are not going to be playing Outbreak anytime soon, are they? So
No, no. I mean, I wonder if like a spirit box is one of them, or that's just another one that completely misses them up. Because sometimes when I look at those lineups, I'm a bit like, I don't even know how that band got to be there. Soccer Mummy being one of the best examples. So, I best of luck to both of them. As you say, they were both at Damnation. I mean, like we're no buddies. I'm not around the house for Sunday dinner, but very friendly relationships with them. Watching their events do well, and aye, that's just. It's just I mean, it's the most Outbreak move ever, really. Just let's go slap bang right on the and download. Okay, let's go. So I'm all for it. I hope that there's enough. Listen, there's enough people in the UK to support them. You can do full arena tours for fucking Oasis. There's enough hardcore and rock and metal fans to be able to fill both those events, and I hope that's what happens. To wrap that section up, then this David versus Goliath Outbreak taking on Download. How do you see it panning out for you with your promoter hat on? Do you think both of them will do well?
I think Download will have a good year this year. Download will have a much better year this year than last year because they've got Green Day and Sleep Token, and to a lesser extent Korn. So yeah, I don't think Download have got anything to worry about really. Outbreak, let's see their lineup. Show me the lineup. You're going to do a big outdoor show. That's the answer is in the lineup, isn't it?
Yeah,
At
yeah,
the end of the day, fair fucking play. It's a risky business.
yeah.
We will talk about it when it comes out, won't we? And then hopefully, well, they're saying they're going to come on the podcast. At least one of them will come on the podcast. So
That'd
hopefully
be
we
good.
can get them on and we can ask them about it all because it's fascinating. And look, at nearly every booking agent I've spoken to recently for the last 2 months, Outbreak they've asked me what I know and I've asked them what they know. Everyone's been talking about it. There've been rumblings in the background, and this clashing with Download is just one of the things. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, and don't put your money in Outbreak. Get smashing this year, and then next year coming about with a completely new plan as well. I mean, maybe this is the year that they need to clash with Download, but that's not their thinking going forward. It's like smash this year and then take it on follow next year and do it when it's not a Download. Fuck knows, maybe right over Damnation in the same
I
vein.
was just thinking that. Don't fucking just stay away from our weekends.
I know you're fucking mad bastards. So, aye, good. Okay, we won't get this on, but we'll get questions. Let's get through some questions because I fully geeked out on a James question. I almost went, "Ah, fuck this," and then I went in deep. So, give me the
Yes, mate.
first question, James.
Fucking brilliant. I nearly messaged you to say I hope you're going to go in on this. Lawrence Beard has asked the greatest question of the podcast history so far. He says, it's 1996 and you're booking for Trees and Damnation. What do the headliners and other top choices look like? You can take it that your festivals are already well established.
I rolled my eyes when I saw this question. I went, "That is such a fucking James question," and I was, I timed myself to be like, "James, just tell us your geeky wee answer." And I went, "No, no, you don't run this podcast. I'll go and get my own answer, right?" And then I spent 3 hours going through Wikipedia, checking date timelines, who was available in
Yes.
1996. This is my main stage, right? Co-headline, Tool, who have not yet released an EMA, right? So I saw them, that would be 5, 6 years later, 2001 in the Barrowlands. So they must be within our range. If it, arguably, maybe not even big enough to headline something like Becky is, but on the direction that an EMA's just come out. And Deftones, who have only released Adrenaline, around the fur's going to come out the following year. So probably get a bit of buzz about Deftones, but definitely know the band that are going to be like, know the Deftones you know now. So co-headlining Tool and Deftones.
Good, good. Love it. Love it.
Sepultura, who have just released Roots. In Flames, who have just released Jester Race. And then just to show off in this wing, I've got Botch, Refused, Converge, and a band opening the main stage called Arcane, who in 1 year's time will be called Dillinger Escape Plan, and I'm going to tell them a joke about their fee in 2024. That's my main stage. Did
Right.
you do it in stages? Are you geeky as me, or do?
I haven't gone in stages. I have done Damnation as well, though, so I'm looking forward to coming back on this.
Right, okay, well, I'll do my full event then. Right, the
Yeah.
second stage, I am booking Emperor. I'm getting the Grind Crusher tour, which happened in 1989, but all those bands are definitely still available and still active. Napalm Death, Morbid Angel, Carcass, opening that stage, Bolt Thrower, just because I can. Then in my third stage, I have Mogwai, who have got their debut album out, Godspeed You Black Emperor, who have got their debut album out, and I've got Acid Bath, and I'm paying Acid Bath £200. And that, ladies and gentlemen, probably didn't even sell that many tickets, but I'm gonna know what's gonna happen to all this, and I'm gonna look like a genius fucking 30 years later.
Mate, that is a fucking brilliant answer. I'm impressed. I also spent a couple of hours researching my answer. Um, so my first pick for Damnation was Sepultura. Not that I did Damnation, but I just, as I was doing my research, I kept seeing bands and being like, that should be on Damnation. So the ones you didn't say that I had was Paradise Lost, who just released Draconian Times.
Yeah.
Monster Magnet.
Mm.
Monster Magnet, mate. They're on the Dopes to Infinity album. Corrosion of Conformity, have they ever played Damnation?
See, like Paradise Lost, Corrosion of Conformity, I Hate God were obviously. I feel like they're just very available bands now, and I know you can say the same about Napalm Death, but I just like the idea of just booking that full Grind Crusher tour and putting it on our second stage because we could. So I haven't had Corrosion of Conformity, but we would if it ever fell in the laps. I think they played Wales one year when the same night that Damnation was happening, which is bad planning. But no, I haven't.
I would love to see them at Damnation. Okay, anyway, no one asked me what I thought of Damnation. So 2000 Trees, right? So I'm 18 in 1996, right? So I, and I was fucking all over Brit rock, basically. There was this thing called Brit rock at the time, which if you Google now, comes up with loads of Brit pop.
Yeah.
So Brit rock has been somehow like just wiped off the face of the world. But it existed, and I feel like it's the one time in my sort of musical career where I wasn't just following what everyone else was doing. I was kind of like, without sounding too cheesy, at ground zero, watching bands in like 200 cap Rugeley Red Rose Theatre who went on to be massive. So I'm going to start small. So the bands that no one's heard of yet that are going to play are um, A, the band A, who were on their debut single 5 in the Morning, Three Colours Red, who were on their debut single This Is My Hollywood, and a band called Cecil that probably no one remembers, but if they do, they're all fucking like high-fiving themselves at the moment. Getting slightly bigger, Reef. Like this is an actual list of bands that I feel like I could have booked then if I'd been like I saw Reef at the Rugeley Red Rose Theatre in March 1995. Their debut album came out in 1995. They had that fucking song on an advert. I don't know if you remember. They had a song on an advert and they just got fucking massive. Skunk Anansie, I saw Support Therapy in 1995, June 95, in the Wolverhampton Civic Hall. And basically, those two bands, although now time has not been that kind to them, and like rock fans don't get excited about those bands. I can tell you at the time, fucking Skunk Anansie were like the best band in the fucking world. They were amazing.
Yeah.
And Reef were pretty great for a short amount of time as well. And then I'm just going to go for the really obvious shit of the Wild Arts, Terrorvision, and Therapy because they were all on their second or third albums, and they were all basically on fire.
This
So
is this is definitely you taking advantage of hindsight. I feel like you're booking a lineup you just put on this year's trees if you can get away
no,
with
no, no. Well, if I could get away with it, is the I well don't the thing is I don't you say it's the advantage of hindsight, but I was there for all of these. You know, like most people are like, oh yeah, my first gig was Nirvana and I'm so
yeah.
cool. And actually I liked Bon Jovi and loads of fucking shit 80s rock. And it wasn't until here when I found my thing. It was
Aye,
my
so
world.
96, right? I'm only 14 at the time, right? Aye, what was that 82 thing? So I'm 14 at the time. So it's not like I'm not pretending that I could ever have possibly known botch, refuse, converge. What I'm saying is I'm using the ability. He said, you're in 1996. You've got an established festival, so you're already 42, Gavin. Damnation's already exactly what it is. Now that you know what you know now, when you know you're, I don't know, the moth gatherer for Sweden that no one else listens to, it's like, aye, that's how I know who refused on botch. You're picking the Wild Hearts and fucking
Mate,
Therapy.
always pick the fucking Wild House, basically. You can go back to 1996 and
There is
book
no
your 2000
absolute.
trees if you
There's
want.
no trees belters that you're a bit like shit. If I knew that knowledge in 1996, I'd absolutely smashed them. Because a lot of these bands know you're
Mate,
picking, aren't
fucking
they?
Reef were playing in a 200 cap venue in Rugeley in 1995, right? So these aren't just because they're not like cool names to drop. These bands went on to be fucking million sellers. Skunk Anansi did, Reef did. I mean, less so Cecil and Three Colours Red. A went on to be massive. I
But
can
James, here's the
remember when
point,
that.
right? Here's the point, right? And you know what 2000 Trees is, yeah. But you could genuinely go out and book that lineup for 2026. You could book that lineup for 2026. You could for one of your stages. I can't book Tool and Deftones. It's like, why aren't you taking advantage of this time machine?
No, no. Well, because I decided that I wanted to geek out on Brit rock because it's the fucking best time ever. Brit rock was the best time ever, and I
Okay.
and I've to be honest, this morning I was listening to Cecil. I was amazed to hear that they're even on Spotify, and it's the first time I've listened to them probably since 1998 or something, and it was fun. Anyway, to continue this, um, it's going to be headlined by the Manic Street Preachers, so fuck you, Gav.
I mean, surely you could have got Red Hot Chili Peppers. They must be in that bracket.
And I'm going to drop one final band in. Is my only non-Brit rock band is Rocket from the Crypt, whose album Scream Dracula Scream had come out that year. And that, for anyone who knows that album, it's fucking amazing.
You know, it's going to be one of these weird ones where I've obviously smashed you right out the park, like I do with most of the on the records, right? And to Friday or Thursday or Friday's response going to be like, James's stage was incredible. And I'm like, fucking,
This,
somebody shoot me now, man.
well, look, let's have a vote. But at the end of the day, um, I don't know. That was my vibe was Brit rock. Your vibe was like all the great bands that went on to be massive. So
And my third stage, James, Mogwai, Godspeed You Black Emperor, and Acid Bath. I mean, come on.
it's good. And I like the fact that you had Acid Bath.
I had to add Acid Bath. Aye, £200. Bum.
Okay, lovely. Well, look, that I think what we've learned from that, Gav, is that when you embrace the geeky questions, it works.
It
I thought you
does.
did,
It
I thought
does.
you
I
did
mean,
a, I thought you did a brilliant job.
I found myself getting into that question rapidly from rolling the eyes to like studying, and it was the amount of bands that I missed out by a year or two, and I get myself quite annoyed about it. It was like we're only formed like 1990. I was like, yeah, bastard. Why did it have to be 1996? So
It's a time-consuming job, isn't it? Because my brain was going, I think I saw Skunk Anansi. Was it Sporting Therapy? And then you've got to find out the answer on Google. It's like
aye.
you can't quite fully remember it.
Thank
But yeah,
fuck for Wikipedia. I did donate one time £5 to Wikipedia, and worth every penny, worth every fucking penny to get the answers to that today. I'd have still be trying to get that answer sorted now. Right, Jeff Crosdale. Do bands without booking agents suck at negotiations? Does the price tend to be much different if they have one represent them? Interested in hear this, James. What's your take on that?
yes, bands without booking agents do suck at negotiations. I would recommend bands get booking agents if they can. There's not really a negotiation there. Almost you make an offer and the band, if a band wants to play the festival, they'll say yes if they don't have a booking agent normally. The only thing I would say is that there are some instances where, particularly Arctangent, booking agents price themselves out of the festival. And I'm like, I get the fact that that band lives in Tennessee, but no one's heard of them. So, here's 500 quid. Work out if you can book some other shows, do a European tour, whatever. Can you make something work? Because your band should be at Arctangent and I would love to make it happen, but I can't pay you the 3 grand. We've talked about this kind of
Yep,
before. I
yep.
just can't pay you it. And if you've got a booking agent at that time, that's the time when that's just going to collapse all of that.
Yeah.
You could argue that's just me underpaying the bands, right?
Yeah,
So
no, I don't agree because ultimately when you get these bands need to come and tour at some point. They need to come and tour at some point. So you get a choice of you can come and get the fee you're going to be getting in the New Cross in London and Audio in Glasgow and whatever the small bar like Rebellion or something in Manchester. And ultimately, by the time you've done the tour, you get a £500 per night, and you've got sold your 90, 100 tickets, whatever it is, and it's maybe been an okay tour. Or you can get your £500 at Damnation, also get all the press at Damnation, sell a shit ton of merch at Damnation because there are 5 or 6 thousand people there, have more eyeballs on you at Damnation, and then walk away. Like, I'd put
yeah,
Gillian Carter on that. So Gillian Carter had to start a UK tour at some point. Now, I never paid them what they needed to get across to America, but we paid them a decent going fee. They played to, I don't know, 1,500 people in the first night. The rest of that UK tour, if they'd been going for another week, still wouldn't have reached. So they played to more people in the first afternoon than they would have in the rest if they were at that for another 2 fucking weeks. And that happens with a lot of those type of bands. And then they've got something to build on. Because not only
well,
that, they've got fucking me waxing lyrical about them for 8 months up to it on a podcast saying how fucking great they are. And you've got people checking them out because they're in a poster that isn't just on some small village hall's Facebook page and no one ever sees or even knows they're playing. So you've got them on a Damnation poster with Cradle of Filth and Bleeding Through and Nails. And it's just, sometimes the booking agents, it's only about money. It's just about you need to reach this figure. And you're like, listen, I'm already going over twice the price I'd need to pay for a British band with 4 times the exposure, 4 times the demand, 4 times the level of interest, and I'm going out of my way to find this money for your band. But you need to meet somewhere in the middle. You
yeah,
can't you can't get 3 grand for a band that's going to be playing for £400 everywhere else in the UK. It doesn't make any sense at all as a promoter. So aye, booking agents do, and sometimes at higher levels, sometimes booking agents just go, "This is what I want. I want to get this 20 grand for the band, and I'm no bending on it." And sometimes I don't think that gets fully back to the band. That look, there's a really good solid offer here. That's just the case. No, we're going to hold out for it. It's not something I'm part of. I don't, with Damnation, we don't book a lot of bands who don't have booking agents. In fact, I can't think of a single band on this year's bill who didn't have a booking agent. So it's not often I actually deal with that. But I agree with James that usually bands, and why that's a bad thing anyway, why we've got a booking agent is we don't want to go to our own friends and people we know and say, we demand this much for you, and then have them insult us or us insult them. It takes away a very awkward conversation. And it
yeah,
allows an agent to do it, whose job it is to have those awkward conversations and push people for maybe sometimes more than they should pay, or conditions that we would even, as two experienced promoters, we'd probably accept less. Whereas your agent's there to protect you for that and make sure you're not going out and losing money.
yeah, 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 absolutely. The the only other thing that I would say is that the at Damnation this year there is more than one band who did a UK tour around Damnation and that didn't sell that well. And
Yeah.
that bears out the points that you're making 100% because basically at Damnation I saw them, there were people, it was fucking rammed, there were people singing the words, fucking moshing, and then the band go to play in Leeds or wherever, and it's quiet, they're playing to 50 people. So frankly there is something about the festivals like we've got where you've got a captive audience and most sets are busy, if not all sets.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth it.
So on to the next question. Duncan Hacker. Having seen the way that each year festival's grown over the years, is there a certain capacity attendance threshold that you wouldn't want to exceed, even if you had the option to? If so, how big is that and why? Or is it just outbreak style? The sky's the limit.
I mean, I feel like it's a year by year judgment that you make, which is like, you know, how did the festival feel and how did the budget look? Did we make enough money to keep it going again and to make it worthwhile for us to do it, to take all the fucking risk on? And but also did people, equally as important, did people feel that it had the vibe? Because the vibe is important at Trees and Arctangent, it's important at Damnation as well. And you can't get that vibe at 100,000 capacity festival in the same way. Having said that, go to Glastonbury or Primavera and tell me there isn't a vibe because there is. So, I, for me, it's a year by year thing. we're never looking to book those bands that would suddenly skyrocket tickets so that we could grow by 25% or 50% in one year. So it's always a gradual thing. And maybe one day we'll be like, no, this is the right size. Maybe ATG is already as big as it'll ever be.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, don't know.
It's a tough. I mean, my biggest fear moving to the Beck Arena from Leeds was the losing the vibe, losing the atmosphere, losing the soul of it. You go into that empty space when it's just an empty space. It's a big tin shed with a big grey car park. That is not an easy space to make feel like damnation, and it's our fan base that do make it feel like damnation, and the production we put in there, and just the atmosphere, and it's a great, it is a really great atmosphere for what it is, considering it isn't in a isn't a summer festival in luscious fields, you know what I mean? So you really need to go in there with enthusiasm that you're going to enjoy every second, and our fan base do, thankfully, and we appreciate that. Now, Damnation's yet to hit that 6,000 mark. We've never got to the line. Now, I would note that point. How does it look? How does it look when there's a genuine 6,000 ticket buyers in the venue? So hopefully 2025 can be there. Now, I've seen events in there that have pushed it a bit further and still managed to make it work fine. And we've got plans we could do more with outdoor space if we were up in that. So, aye, I'm happy where we're at, happy with the vibe as it is at Damnation. I love the atmosphere at Damnation, and we probably could go a wee bit more, but fuck, it's the bands will dictate it. If we knew that there was bands in our orbit that we could go and try and do something, then that's a discussion there. But we're already struggling. I mean, my dream is the whole headliner thing to just get put in the bin and just booking all my favourite exciting bands or the most exciting bands. I feel like our fan base love all these bands that are not headliners, but everybody still wants a headliner to exist
Yeah.
before they'll commit to it. And then the headliners, they're like, we're not really bothered about them. I'm glad we can leave early. It's a weird catch 22 that Damnation's got, but it's one we're going to have to deal with until people just put their whole faith in you, the way the first 1,600 people did and said, we believe you're going to book bands like Nails and Dragged Into Sunlight and Bleeding Through and Enter Armour, and those are the bands we want to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, can you ever foresee a day where you wanted to find a bigger venue, like the next venue up?
Not currently. Not currently. Genuinely, I just don't, because there has to become a point where you just feel like that you have lost that. We are that sort of extreme underground festival. That is what you're looking for. And at some point, you're going to become Bloodstock, and at some point, Bloodstock's going to become Download, and then that becomes its own. You're killing yourself off because what's the biggest complaint about Download? It's too commercial, it's too corporate, it's too many people there. It gives me anxiety. I don't like the feel of it. There's too many arseholes. I mean, you put enough people in a room, you're always going to get more arseholes. It's just the laws. So,
Yeah.
it's easier to have a 300 cap event and for everybody to be good people and everyone to have that whole family feel. And then the bigger you get, the harder it gets. But you guys have done a cracking job at trees at keeping that tremendous vibe and always rocketing with the capacity as well. So, at the minute, I'm fucking delighted with that for next year's 2 days. So I just want to see a busy 2 day damnation for next year's 20th anniversary, and from there we'll go where we go.
Lovely. Can't wait, mate. I can't wait. I think
Right,
we're
Jake.
we're at our hour and a half.
But I
We're at
just
our
saw
hour
that
and a
one.
half
So
talking.
hit me up when on the record.
Are you going to chat about your best mate Lou today or not? Or are we just ditching him
We
completely?
will. We're not going to bury this podcast in adverts. That's not what we're about. We don't want to do that. We have brought on board our friends in Tech. We were happy to give them Lou's Brews, Meloria. We will be back to you next episode. Don't think we've forgot about
Yeah.
you.
Fuck you, Lou. Okay. On the record, I'm going to go for. Do you remember a few months ago, I said to you on the podcast, I think we recorded a set at Arctangent, a live set that's going to get released, but I'm not sure if it actually happened. No one told me. Well, it did happen. And the band is Three Trap Tigers. And three songs from that set are, as this podcast is released, will already be out in the world. And I'm going to choose the song Reset by Three Trap Tigers live at Arctangent. And there is Kev, our mate Kev sent me a YouTube video today, so you can go and watch it. And fucking great to watch it back. And the song Reset is the final song of the set, and they go out and there's like a fucking packed tent just cheering at them, and they do like the proper like rock star sort of bow and stuff, which is
Yeah.
pretty nice for a geeky math rock band. So it sounded great, looked great. It was just it's nice for me to relive it. So yeah, Reset by
Good.
Free Trap Tigers.
I look forward to checking it out. It's not a band I've ever done a bit of deep dive on. I think I've caught wee bits and pieces of it, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad you finally got your live recording as well, sir. I am going to go. You went Free Trap Death. Well, that's very art times. I'm going to go with an old school Damnation band, something a bit different as well. Stamping Ground. Lots of calls for those guys to come back for next year. We'll obviously do what we can. We'll do all these types of bands. But their banger, Officer Down, which is a metalcore slash hardcore relentless drive of metal, slab of metal, and it's been performed at Damnation twice before, and twice before it leveled the place. I very much hope we can get them back one year and they do it again because it is a spectacle and they're one of those great bands for the UK, one of the ones that are coming through at the same time, like Raging Speedhorns and even 100 Reasons and Chargers and that. So, aye, great guys, great band, great tune. That is my on the record. To wrap
Lovely
things
stuff.
up, Kofi, we've been having a bit of a dispute with Kofi. This whole nonsense that's going on, people having shit cancelled, no cancelled, subscription thing. It sounds like they've resolved it. They've taken away whatever security check measure that was flagging up for I think 23 of the subscribers. That is now gone. You might get an email from Kofi apologising and asking you if you need to resubscribe. If you do, please do. It's a big help. It's been a real frustration for us at this end, seeing people who want to support the podcast but basically not having money taken. In one case, a friend of mine, Tim Stables, had his subscription cancelled that they knew nothing about. So hopefully that's the end of that nonsense. If it does continue, we'll be forced at some point to try and find a new platform. Hope it doesn't get to that because getting up to 90, 100 subscribers and then having to start again at zero would be a wee bit heartbreaking.
Yeah, it would. We do appreciate the support, so please keep doing it or buy a ticket to the tour.
Or
Either
buy a
either
ticket
or.
to the tour. I'll do both. Go
Yeah.
crazy. Yes, that is a. I let's celebrate the rest of these dates. It's been a whirlwind week and long may it continue. It's all good. Hopefully kept that till I can't believe it. I can't not believe that the other half is becoming a difficult bit to talk. We will get to the rest of the questions that were on that paper in front of me for next week too, when I'll see you.
Thanks, mate.